This short video will show you how to find articles for sociology. First, we're going to review what we see here on the home page. Right here in the middle is where you're going to find all of the materials we have in the library. This discovery search searches all of the different kinds of materials, including government documents, scholarly articles, news and magazine articles, and books. But it does search across disciplines, which means if you're limited to finding articles for your particular area, you may or may not want to consider this. We're going to eventually get to databases by subject and choose sociology, but anytime you need to find scholarly articles for a course, you can come here and choose a database based on the course that you're taking. If you have a citation for an article and you just want to see if we have access to the full text, this link here, looking for a specific article, will allow you to do that. All you'll need to do is fill in the citation information, click Get It, and it will give you that link to the full text of the article, or it'll allow you to request it through interlibrary loan. If you need to find books for your assignment, this tab here will help you search either our local collection here in the building or the circuit, which is made up of all of the universities in San Diego and some of the public library systems. You'll need to request it, and it'll come and be ready to pick up at the library in 1 to 3 days. I strongly recommend starting your research early, so if you do need to request things from the circuit, you have the time to be able to do that. The other thing I want to point out is right here in the middle, which is where you can get help from a librarian. We have somebody available on chat from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Friday. If the librarian is not online, you'll be directed to a form where you can send an email and we'll get back to you within 24 hours. We also have a librarian in the building from 8 to 6 during the week and 8 to 3 on Friday. We do check emails over the weekend, so like I said, you should get a response within 24 hours. You can also contact me directly to set up an appointment to meet and talk about your assignment. What we're going to work on today is from the research guide. Each subject at CSUSM has a starting point for any research that you're going to do. So we're going to come down here for sociology, and we're going to look at what's available here. You can see there may be course guides if there's a specific class that has a specific assignment to work on. But generally speaking, what you'll find is everything you need to get started right here on the Sociology Research Guide. So here's a research process which I suggest you try. It involves doing a lot more extensive background research before you start thinking about a thesis or a focused topic, and then you'll go on to collect your scholarly articles. If you're working on a literature review, this tab will show you an example. It'll talk to you about what it is, and there's also a chart to track the articles you need. Again, this will give you some links on how to find books, but we're going to look at journal articles today. The best database to find scholarly articles in sociology is Sociological Abstracts. You'll find lots of different kinds of publications in addition to the scholarly articles, so be sure that once you get the list of results, you look carefully to make sure that it is scholarly and not a master's thesis or a doctoral dissertation. One of the things I like to do is switch to advanced search right away. I like that there are extra boxes to help me organize my topic. So today we're going to look at sex stereotypes and advertising. So by having all of these different boxes, it allows me to put my different ideas, the one being sex stereotypes and the other being advertising, on different rows. It just helps me to keep track of what I'm looking at. I don't tend to use any of these search options down at the bottom, but we will use some on the next page. So you can see here we get 165 results. The first thing we want to do is come over here on the right and choose scholarly journals. This narrows it down even further, so we get 141, which will be from a scholarly journal. A few things I want to point out on this page. You can see these top two don't have the full text in this database, but that doesn't mean that we don't have it. If it is available in this database, you'll see a link that says full text PDF or full text HTML. I strongly recommend the PDF instead of the HTML if you have an option at any point. We're going to look One of the other things I want to point out is the title of these journals. Both of these appear as though they may be written in a different language, so we're just going to keep on going down until we find one in English. So here, Gender Advertising in the U.S. and India, Exporting Cultural Stereotypes. That's the title of our article. We see on this page, these are the authors. This is when it was published. This is the volume and the issue number, and these are the page numbers. The abstract gives us a summary of the article. I like to think of it as a movie trailer, where it's going to just give you a sneak peek. One of the things that I think is most useful in this database are these subject phrases and words. These can do a few things for you. First of all, it's a really good way to develop a set of keywords when you're searching. For example, another way to talk about this is mass media images. So we may decide that that's what we want to look at instead of just more broadly advertising. Women's roles might be something that goes along with sex stereotypes. It'll be related but not exactly the same. So keep an eye on these and take your notes about what subjects or other keywords that you're seeing as you're doing your searching. The other thing we can do with these is click on them to get more. So if I were to click on this link that says sex stereotypes, it's going to give us any article that's about sex stereotypes. It's not going to be focused on advertising, but if we want to look more generally at sex stereotypes, that's a good way to do it. And one more point about that is that when you search in these databases, it's looking for how many times your words appear. It doesn't understand the meaning. It doesn't understand the idea behind the word. It only knows to look for that word. So you can see the highlighting are the terms that we put in. These subjects tell you what the article is about. So that gets at the meaning of your words. So that's something else to keep in mind if you're not getting the results that you want. If we want this article, we're going to use the Get It button. And what this is going to do is go out and search all of our other databases to see if we have it. In this case, none of our databases have it, but we can search Google. And if it's not available for free, we can get it from Interlibrary Loan. That's going to take 1 to 2 days. It'll come electronically. You'll have access to it from home. Let's go back to the results and see if we can find one in a journal that we might have. Let's take a look at this one. So here we see Get Full Text from Elsevier Science Direct Complete. So those are just two examples of how Get It is going to direct you to getting access to this article. Just because you have to use the Get It button doesn't mean that we don't have it. It just means that we don't have it in that database, and we'll have to go search the other databases to find it. A few other tips that I want to give you. To go quickly through these articles when you're just determining what you want to read more fully, if you scroll over this preview button, you'll get a snippet of the abstract. If it's a short one, you'll get the whole thing, and some of the other information like the subject. That can be a really quick way to go through things. Another thing that I find to be really helpful are these check boxes. These are going to save these articles to a list. This list does go away when you close your browser, so be sure that you go ahead and email them to yourself before you close the browser out. So here's our list of selected items. We choose email, and it's going to email you whatever's available. We want to make sure that we do original file format, so that does include the full text if it's available. Otherwise, it's just going to give you the citation information. Another thing I want to point out is that you can have a draft citation written by this database. Please keep in mind that this is only a draft citation. This database does a particularly good job at making sure that they're correct. However, even in this one, I see this is not necessary anymore. That's not something we include, yet they haven't made the changes on the back end. So be sure that if you do have a database or you use a citation tool, that you double check it against an official APA, MLA, whatever citation style guide that you're using. If you have any questions, be sure to contact me, and we'll make sure that you get the help you need.